Guys, what are we witnessing right now with LAFC? I mean, this is an absolute collapse, and it doesn't look like things are going to get any better. They lost 4-0 to Luca last Wednesday night, or this past Wednesday night. They have a big match against the Houston Dynamo at home, and they absolutely crumble and lose 4-1. And it just begs a lot of questions about what's wrong with this team, which, if you've been following this channel, I've been telling you all offseason long about what is wrong with this team. And I've been telling you that they got it wrong from the start when they hired the wrong manager. They hired the wrong guy. We all knew it. Anyone with the brain knew it. And yet, here we are. So LAFC lose. I think they've lost or won only one of their last 6 MLS games. And, I do want to talk about the game tonight, but we got to talk more about the bigger picture of like what's going on, right? And where they're going to go from here, because it just looks like there's just so much that's wrong with this team right now. But before we get into that, smash the like button down below, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and hit that little bell notification so you guys never miss a video. Also, make sure you guys remember that MLS Moves is presented by FanDuel. Okay, so the first half was a very important tone setter, I think, for LAFC to see how are they going to react after getting embarrassed against Toluca this past Wednesday, right? Are they going to come out with some grit? Or are they going to continue their slump? Also want to point out that they tried something different. They had Nathan Ordaz play up top. Denny Bouanga didn't play. They had Son Heung-min play as a 10 again, which I don't know why they keep doing this. It's another fault with Marc Dos Santos where he keeps trying the same thing and it just doesn't work. And you're playing him out of position. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing, expecting different results. He's insane, right? So David Martinez starts a game too late. Should have started last game. Schaffelberg is on the left wing. No Tillman, which is, hey, that's a good start. No Tillman. Tillman's horrible. We all know this, right? But how are they going to play? And honestly, they had a couple chances in the first half, but they still just weren't playing with that level of energy, like that passion, that grit, that determination to prove that last week was a fluke, that we want to prove we're a good team. Okay. Now they did have 10 shots. They had 2 on target. They dominated possession. But in the 25th minute, Jack McGlynn scored an absolute golazo. And I'm not going to beat up Hugo Lloris too much for not being able to save that, because not many keepers would have. I mean, Jack McGlynn has a beautiful left foot, guys. He does. He always has. And he scored a perfect goal in the 25th minute to put Houston up 1-0. Now, at that point, I thought, okay, LAFC is getting punched in the mouth. How? We'll see what kind of grit they have. We'll see what kind of determination they have. What can they do through adversity, right? That's what determines a good team, guys, in any sport. How do you rebound when things are not going good? When things are going good, everything's cool. Nothing matters. But when things are going bad, how do you fix things? How's the locker room handle it? How do the players play? How does the coach? So they're down 1-0. And like I said, they had a couple. I thought Sonny was playing I think he's been playing pretty good all year. I know people have been absolutely on his case saying he hasn't been good. But, dude, he has been playing as good as he can with the teammates he has around him. I saw people on Twitter today saying, oh, my goodness, he doesn't have a goal this year. Well, how about his 16 assists he has this year? Does that mean nothing? He has 16 assists this year. In my opinion, assists are harder because you have to pass it to the player and hope they score. An assist is harder than scoring a goal. And he has 16 of them. But either way, Son Heung-min was running up and down the pitch, playing defensively in the attack, trying to move the ball forward. I mean, he was doing everything tonight. Everything. After just playing a game Wednesday in that high altitude where he was probably gassed after playing the whole game. He was running this entire match. I'd love to see his heat map and see how much distance he covered tonight, but it felt like he was the only one who was playing with heart. In the 34th minute, Augusto scored off a deflection, but he scored. and Houston goes up 2-0. This is when they were really in trouble. I knew they were going to lose at that point. That's when I posted that I was going to do an emergency episode on Mother's Day if LAFC lost this game. But in the 45th minute at a time, Nathan Ordaz was able to score off a Schaffelberg cross. And they pull one back and they go into the half 2-1. Okay, LAFC's back in it. 2-1. They could easily come back and win this game, right? They have the potential to do that. 2-1's not a bad that's manageable. You could come back and win this one, right? So they go back and they go to the second half. It's 2-1. And we just continue to see the wheels fall off. Mateusz Bogusz pulls one back 7 minutes in the second half, scores 52nd minute to put up 3-1. Puts them up 3-1. And then the 55th minute, McGlynn scores again to get his brace. The team quit. The team just quit. They just quit in the second half. They had a manageable margin to come back in this game, and they just quit. I don't know what it is. There were people saying that the schedule's been brutal for them and that they just played too many games. That's why depth is important, by the way. But they just quit. They did just quit, right? And they really, they had some chances maybe in the second half. They had 9 shots, 4 on target, but, the whole game, Houston was getting dominated on possession. They let LAFC have the ball the entire second half, essentially. They had possession 73-27 and 3 more shots and 2 more on target, and the same amount on target. But they were begging LAFC. They were giving them the possession, said, "God, score on us, do it." And they had some chances, but there's just no one else on this team who can step up. This team is not good. This is not a good team. This is not a good team. And I've been saying it all season long, and there were people in denial saying, "Oh, but Will, they're 4-0. They haven't conceded a goal this year." But Will, they beat Cruz Azul. They're in the semifinals of the CONCACAF Champions Cup. Who cares? Because the flaws with this team were going to inevitably catch up with them. When you guys can't score, you're going to lose games eventually because the other team's going to score and you're not going to be able to counter that, right? And at the end of the day, this team just isn't very talented. They're not. They have a handful of good players and the rest are mediocre. And they played above their means for most of the beginning of the season. That's just a fact. Sorry, just a fact. Hugo Lloris has been incredible all season long. He had a pretty bad game tonight. Now, it wasn't like the worst game he's ever had. Some of it was just luck of the shot, like he just couldn't stop it. But I wouldn't say he was sharp either. The back line, guys, what about this back line? The back line was the linchpin supposedly the whole season long. Porteous hasn't been good the last couple games. Tafari hasn't been good the last couple games. Segura has been terrible. Palencia has been not good, right? And Eustaquio was the guy who was supposed to be the savior in the midfield, right? He was supposed to be the savior in the midfield. And he came back. This is his first start in a couple weeks. And he was non-existent. Delgado was still bad. This team is just not very good. They're not very good. And by the way, props, I want to say this too real quick. Props to Houston. Jack McGlynn balled out. Mateusz Bogusz balled out. These guys looked really, really good. Guilherme balled out. These guys, Augusto Guilherme, that's his full name, they balled out. Jonathan Bond balled out. The Houston Dynamo, props to them, man. They had a great game. Great game. Hey, everyone, quick word from our sponsor, FanDuel. If you're into soccer like I am, you already know how exciting La Liga, the Premier League, and MLS matches can get. With FanDuel, you can make it even more fun by placing bets on your favorite teams and matches across all 3 leagues. Whether it's a Premier League showdown, a La Liga thriller, or an MLS game with your local club, FanDuel makes it easy and exciting to bet on what you watch. Just remember, you have to be 21 years or older to play, Please bet responsibly and only if you're of legal age and in a state where it's allowed. Download the FanDuel app or head over to FanDuel.com, sign up, and get in on the action. Thanks for supporting the channel through FanDuel. And Nolly had a good game. This team played very good tonight. Now, obviously, they haven't been as good as the fans would like, but they've been pretty solid the last couple. They've had a good stretch. The Houston Dynamo have. So props to them for their huge win tonight and absolutely punching LAFC in the mouth. But there's just so much that has been exposed. Marc Dos Santos is a horrible manager. He was, and he always has been. He's never been a good manager. That's why he got fired with the Vancouver Whitecaps. He's the worst manager in their club history. And somehow he got one of the biggest jobs in MLS after a record of failure, a resume of failure. He got one of the biggest jobs in the league. Makes no sense. But remember, it's not about what you know. It's who you know. And he knows John Thorrington, and John Thorrington wanted to hire his buddy. So he gets the job. And it's come around to bite them in the ass. It has. Sorry, it's true. It has. And John Thorrington's delusional ego of this team being good enough to win an MLS Cup with a new manager is just delusional. This team wasn't that good last year either. They were only good because Son Heung-min and Denny Bouanga were going crazy. They were like the only two players to score a goal for like 5 or 6 games. They scored a bunch, like 18 goals in like 5 or 6 games. Okay. Maybe it was 7 games, but either way, they scored a bunch of goals in like 6 or 7 games. And they had no other help anywhere else. But yet, this guy says, let's roll back with Tillman. Let's bring back Delgado. Chouanier, he's good enough. Estacio, okay, we'll bring him in. He's going to be the big signing. Boudry, Andrew Morin, not good enough. We'll bring in Boudry. Doesn't play at all. Injured all the time. I mean, this offseason was pathetic. I got killed for saying that they were going to be bad and that their offseason was one of the worst in history. I mean, I didn't say they were going to be bad as in they weren't going to make the playoffs, but I said they weren't going to be as good as they could be. And I'm just being proven right over time. I am. I mean, the coaching hire was bad. The offseason moves were lackluster, and they're wasting Son Heung-min. He's the most important player on the team. They spent $27 million on him. He's making $15 to $20 million a year. He is the leader and the most important player on the team. That is just the truth. I'm sorry, but it is. They're building around him. They have failed him. They have not built a team around him that is up to standard of what they would need to win anything. And they will not win a single trophy this year. They will not win a single trophy this year. They won't. They'll make the playoffs. I don't know what seed they'll be, but they're not going to go far because the team isn't very good and there's so many holes. And they should have never hired a bum like Marc Dos Santos who is not qualified for this job. And the substitutions he has, and Bogusz being brought in, Tillman being brought in, Tyler Boyd, these guys aren't any good. They're not any good. So there has to be some huge changes with the LAFC or they're just a lost cause. We'll see what happens, but if it were me, I would just cut my losses now, fire him. He's not any good, guys. Bad coaches don't suddenly become good coaches. It just doesn't work like that. And there's so many good managers that would want to coach this team because it's in LA. It's a club that's, at least used to be invested in winning. And the chance of coaching some of the players on this team, like Son Heung-min, like Denny Bouanga when he's good, right? Have a chance to bring in a big-time player. You have a third DP spot open. So it's just frustrating. I feel for the LAFC fans. They deserve better than this. This is what they're stuck with. And somehow they found a coach that is worse than Steve Cherundolo. Let me know what you guys think down below. Is LAFC cooked this year? Will they be able to bounce back? Or what is going to happen this summer? If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a like down below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit that little bell notification so you never miss a video. And also, don't forget that MLS Moves was presented by FanDuel. Until next time, guys, I'll see you all soon.